Achieving optimal results with China FR4 PCB assembly, Winnow. China FR4 PCB assembly is an important part of many electronics projects. It is used to build the printed circuit boards, PCBs, that power electronics devices such as computers, smartphones, and other consumer electronics products. With China FR4 PCB assembly, companies can create robust and reliable PCBs that are much more durable than traditional PCBs. In this article, we will explore the benefits of China FR4 PCB assembly, the process involved, and tips to achieve optimal results. What is China FR4 PCB assembly? China FR4 PCB assembly is a process that uses a combination of materials, tools, and techniques to create a printed circuit board, PCB. The process combines the strength of FR4 material with the precision of automated assembly techniques to create a reliable and durable PCB. The FR4 material used in China FR4 PCB assembly is a type of fiberglass reinforced epoxy laminate. This material is incredibly strong and durable and is often used in the electronics industry for its ability to resist heat, moisture, and other environmental conditions. Benefits of China FR4 PCB assembly. FR4 PCB assembly offers a number of benefits over traditional PCB assembly processes. This includes increased reliability and durability, as well as improved performance and lower costs. The use of FR4 material in China FR4 PCB assembly provides increased reliability and durability. FR4 material is much stronger than traditional materials used in PCB assembly and is able to withstand high temperatures and other environmental conditions. This makes it ideal for use in products that require reliable performance over time. China FR4 PCB assembly process. The China FR4 PCB assembly process begins with the design of the PCB. This usually involves the use of computer-aided design, CAD, software, which is used to create a schematic of the PCB. Once the design is complete, the schematic is sent to a PCB manufacturer, who will create the physical PCB. What to look for in a China FR4 PCB assembly company? When looking for a China FR4 PCB assembly company, there are a few key factors to consider. These include the quality of the PCBs they produce, the cost of their services, and the level of customer service they provide. The quality of the PCBs produced by the company should be the primary consideration. The company should use high-quality components and materials, as well as an automated assembly process, to ensure that the PCBs are reliable and durable. The cost of the company's services should also be taken into account. The company should offer competitive rates for their services, as this will help keep costs down. Finally, the level of customer service provided by the company should be taken into consideration. The company should be willing to answer any questions and provide helpful advice, as this will ensure that the customer is satisfied with the results. Tips for achieving optimal results with China FR4 PCB assembly. When working with a China FR4 PCB assembly company, there are a few tips to follow to ensure optimal results. These include using high-quality components, testing the PCB after assembly, and ensuring quality control measures are in place. The components used in the PCB should be of high quality. This will ensure that the PCB is reliable and durable. High-quality components will also help to reduce the risk of failure and defects in the PCB. Common mistakes to avoid when working with a China FR4 PCB assembly company. When working with a China FR4 PCB assembly company, there are a few common mistakes to avoid. These include not testing the PCB after assembly, not using high-quality components, and not having quality control measures in place. Not testing the PCB after assembly is a common mistake. This can lead to errors or defects in the PCB that can cause it to fail or malfunction. It is important to test the PCB after assembly to ensure it meets the required specifications and that any errors or defects have been caught before the PCB is used in the final product. Quality control measures for China FR4 PCB assembly. Quality control measures are essential for ensuring that the PCBs produced with China FR4 PCB assembly meet the required specifications and are reliable and durable. These measures include testing the PCB during and after assembly, as well as ensuring that the components and materials used are of high quality. Testing the PCB during the assembly process is important for ensuring that any errors or defects are caught before the PCB is completed. This can be done using specialized testing equipment, which can detect any errors or defects in the PCB. Cost considerations of China FR4 PCB assembly. The cost of China FR4 PCB assembly can vary depending on the complexity of the PCB, the quantity of the order, and the components and materials used. The cost of the services provided by the assembly house should also be taken into account. The cost of the components and materials used in the PCB should be taken into consideration. High-quality components and materials will increase the cost of the PCB, but will also help to ensure it is reliable and durable. Examples of successful China FR4 PCB assembly projects. There are a number of successful China FR4 PCB assembly projects that have been completed in recent years. These include projects for consumer electronics products, medical devices, and industrial applications. One example of a successful China FR4 PCB assembly project is the development of the Apple Watch. This project used China FR4 PCB assembly to create the PCBs that power the device. The PCBs were produced quickly and efficiently, and the use of FR4 material ensured they were reliable and durable. Conclusion: China FR4 PCB assembly is an important part of many electronics projects. It is used to create reliable and durable PCBs that can withstand high temperatures and other environmental conditions. The process combines the strength of FR4 material with the precision of automated assembly techniques to create robust and reliable PCBs. By following these tips and considering the factors mentioned above, companies can ensure that their China FR4 PCB assembly projects are successful and that they achieve optimal results. Visit our website, Winnow PCBA.